Our top focus right now remains Myanmar. Rescues are desperately searching for survivors more than 2 days after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar, toppling buildings as far away as the Thai capital Bangkok and sending tremors through nearby Chinese provinces. At least 1,700 people are now confirmed dead in Myanmar after what was the largest earthquake to hit the war-ravaged country in more than a century. Widespread damage has been reported after the earthquake triggered bridges and buildings to collapse, including in Bangkok, where authorities are trying to free dozens believed to be trapped under the rubble of an under-construction high-rise. The epicenter was recorded in Myanmar's central Sagaing region near the former royal capital Mandalay, home to around 1.5 million people, as well as multiple historic temple complexes and palaces. My colleague Brian Thomas joins us live from Bangkok, which felt the tremors of this earthquake. Brian, can you give a summary to our viewers of what's happened today?
Well, Devika, definitely, the earthquake that happened on 28th saw jolters also that happened and felt tremors in Bangkok, where there were several high-rise buildings. You talk about the Watermark, JTC, all these high-rise buildings faced the wrath of the earthquake, and that 30-story building, the audit building, also fell prey to it, where there were that was an under construction building definitely. And till now, the latest data that have been coming from the authorities, the death toll at the very under construction building has risen to 17, and till now more than 96 people are still missing. They are still under the rubble. There are many people who are still stuck under the rubble, and this something like this has happened after 40 years. Something this devastating. Long back there was this one tsunami that had hit Phuket rather, but in Bangkok after 40 years itself, Bangkok saw jolters like this. But definitely, if we talk about the other areas in Bangkok right now, yes, there is normalcy in some places, in many places rather. There are a few affected places, that is the Chatuchak main market, near the Chatuchak main market, near the very building, the JJ Mall, near the JJ Mall, and even there are a few markets and the JTC building that have been closed. But apart from that, yes, Bangkok has returned to normalcy as well, where you can see, when you see the airport operations, the metro operations, even the train services have also resumed. Traffic flow has also resumed, has become back to normalcy. The Tourism Authority of Thailand has also issued a statement saying that yes, Bangkok has returned to normalcy. That is this one place that is near the JJ Mall, that is that very building that is still facing a lot of challenges. But yes, in general, Bangkok has returned normalcy. Now, there were more than 8 people also who were injured that have been taken to the nearby hospitals, where there were mobile units, mobile hospitals, emergency service, vehicles were also deployed. Apart from that, also many the locals were also putting out, putting out a lot of help. They deployed mobile units. They deployed many such relief materials that have been given, like medicine kits, sleeping pods, generators, food items, and many of these relief items were given by the locals. And those efforts were made by the locals and not the authorities. Yes, the BFRD were deployed there. The city police were deployed there, the traffic police were deployed there. But apart from that as well, the locals also came together. They came together as one unity to help everyone who was there, who were in that hope that yes, their family members will be safe, because there were more than 96 people who are still unaccounted for. They're still missing. We do not know the exact number, how many people are under the debris. There were around 200 people who were working at that point of time, among which 96 are still missing. So you can understand this 20 hours, that is the tomorrow window, is the most crucial also, because that will be the deciding factor as to what information comes out, Devika.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast with that roundup for the day. Meanwhile, here is how survivors have recalled the skyscraper collapse in Bangkok.
မငဲ့ပြီးမရှာကမ်းမရတော့ဘူးကိုယ်မနာကန်ကောင်းလို့ပေါ့ဟောမှာ
ပြုတ်ကြလာကျွန်တော်လည်းငင်လောက်တာတိလဲငင်လောက်တာတိလဲတိချင်းဘေးနားမှာရှိတဲ့တငယ်ချင်းတွေကတော့အော်တာပေါ့ကျွန်တော်ငင်လောက်တဲ့အချိန်မကောင်းအောက်ကိုအကုန်ဆင်းမိကြပါသားနှစ်ခါလောက်ရောက်တော့တိုက်ကပုံပြကြပြီးတော့ဖုံလုံးတွေပိတ်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့လည်းတက်ရှူရကြက်ပြီးတော့ဘာမှမမြင်တော့ဘူးခဏဖုံလုံးတွေတိတ်သွားကမှကျွန်တော်တို့လည်းအပြင်ထွက်ပြီးတော့အထဲကိုပြန်ဝင်ရတာကြောင့်
And before we dive into a discussion, let's take a look at these before and after satellite images of earthquake hit Myanmar. First up is a photograph of the Inva Bridge on your screens before and after the earthquake. So that's the damage, the extent of the damage that has taken place. Meanwhile, here is a photograph of buildings in Mandalay before the earthquake, and this is the devastation that the earthquake has caused in the entire region. More dramatic images coming our way. We also have a satellite image of the pagodas and the monasteries in Mandalay before and after the earthquake. This, of course, gives us a glimpse into the devastation that the 7.7 magnitude earthquake has caused in already politically sensitive Myanmar. I have with me on the broadcast Mr. Ross Feingold, political risk analyst, joining us from Taipei. Mr. Feingold, thank you so much for taking our time to speak to NewsX World. In your assessment, what really becomes the setback in bringing normalcy to the overall political situation in Myanmar, given that the military junta continues its airstrikes despite there being a natural disaster of this extent?
It probably hardens the military's view. They had previously announced the possibility of elections later this year, but now they could use the earthquake as an excuse not to hold elections for quite some time, and they're going to continue their war. I think a lot of people in the international community seem genuinely shocked that they would continue airstrikes against rebel armies in the hours and days after the earthquake. But the generals are a very stubborn bunch, to put it lightly, and this is a life and death situation for them. They know what the results will be if they lose this war, and they're going to keep fighting until the end, and they're going to fight on multiple fronts using the resources they still have. One of their advantages over the rebel groups is air power, and they're going to continue to use that. So I think we'll see a hardening of the junta's positions in the coming weeks and months.
Mr. Feingold, at the same time, do you sense any impact of a troubling situation in Myanmar across the region?
Certainly the public is going to blame the junta and the central government that the junta controls if the public feels that the post-earthquake recovery is moving too slowly. And that's a real risk for the generals at the moment. They have to demonstrate, at least in the areas that they control, that they're doing the best they can with recovery and post-earthquake reconstruction. But they have such limited resources, and what resources they do have, the military is their number one priority. So it remains to be seen how they're going to handle that challenge of showing the public that they are serious about recovery and reconstruction when they put their own priority as the military.